Well, I figured today would be a good day to do a channel update since I haven't mentioned this property a whole lot. Slowly trying to implement a few ideas of a perennial food forest here. I believe this is 5A in Kenai, Alaska, as far as the zone goes. We do have a few things that we've planted in between all the natural flora and out here. Got a plum tree, I believe. It's doing okay. Definitely having to water it in a lot. It's been a pretty hot and dry summer for the most part. I think there might even be some oregano down in the hole just as an experiment. Planted lilac that seems to be happy with its conditions. Definitely need to bushwhack some of the cow parsnip there. Slowly trying to establish trails and all of that as I do a lot of the dirt work out here to build the home, that's where that's going. But we're going to walk down in here. So this is a complete departure from what I was doing last year as far as growing. And some of the plants are starting to pop. I did bring down some water to water a couple of things that don't seem to be doing so well, but overall I have not watered any of this. I just basically took the leaf litter and processed it in a trommel and then threw it back down on the ground, or sometimes I might do some chipping with some of the elderberries that grow in extreme abundance out here. But yeah, got some radish that are starting to come in nicely here. And I just planted right here at the base of a lot of these alders, which are supposed to be a nitrogen fixing tree, just to kind of see how things would go. Come over here. This is where we're experimenting with some carrots, which are starting to pop up. Nothing too wild and crazy. Probably gets a little more shade in this area than I would like, but until I try, I won't know if it works or not. And trying to get rid of, some of the local Alaskan stuff without having to tear up the soil too much. A lot of devil's club in here that I'm having to try to keep at bay. It grows pretty quick, but yeah, you can see there's some carrots starting to come in. They seem to be pretty happy. I know there's a few rows of carrots back up in there. And then basically all I did was I just bushwhacked out everything. I'm going to start trying to build some hugelkultur beds as I go along and start producing soil and taking a lot of the dead biomass, piling it up at the ends of these areas. So it's all a complete experimentation just to kind of see, and then kind of ran out of time and energy, so I stopped here with the process. So this is basically what I was working with. In the spring I came through here and dropped a bunch of the alders, tried to open it up a little bit. You can see the devil's club in here is pretty crazy. So I do all my bushwhacking in early winter or late spring. But I also kind of wanted to see how things would come back in here. Like, these are elderberry. You got your fiddlehead ferns here. You got a lot of devil's club coming back with a vengeance. And I was always told that you'll find some of the best soil in Alaska if you dig up the devil's club and pull the soil out of the ground where the devil's club grows. So I decided to just try to leave it alone as much as possible and see if I can just grow right in it. So I'll probably end up clearing this in the fall or some such a thing. Let the snow come in here and settle in and insulate the ground, and we'll try some more experimentations next year. Yeah, so far everything seems to be doing okay. Really tried to keep the soil disturbance down to a minimum. I haven't planted anything in this area yet, so I got a couple of things that I'd like to throw in here and see how they do. Over here we have more radish coming in. I also have some soil temperature probes that I've left in here. don't know if... it's kind of hard to see. I could probably... Let's see if I can do something here. I don't know if it'll let me or not. There you go. Yeah, so that's only not that far down, maybe 4 inches or so. And it's sitting at about 55 degrees, and then at about 16 inches, it's only 45 degrees. So this soil is not very warm at all. So that's why I'm trying to do a lot of cold hardy crops. We got some peas coming in, we got some beans coming in along the back side here. Nice, that's really doing well, awesome. Some nasturtiums. We either started with some starts or we got some seeds that are now growing over yonder. Got a little bit of experimentation going on with some yellow onion and some shallots. Tried opening this area up a little bit more to try to provide a little bit more sunlight, and keep in mind I have not watered any of those. So yeah, I think I'm going to bushwhack a little bit more on some of the elderberry. Try to get a little bit more sunlight in a few of these areas. This stuff grows back so crazy. It's insane. And then over here, trying to do some beets. I probably should have processed the leaf litter a little bit better in here, but this was the beginning stages of it. Let's see if I can. There we go. So yeah, there are some beets in here. They are popping up. They have not been thriving, but I also just opened up this to try to get them a little bit more sunlight. It's a little past noon right now. About 2 o'clock should be about solar. Peak solar, so sunlight should just be pouring in here. Pretty hot and heavy. You can see a lot of the stuff dying back that I cut down. A few other things in here. Nothing too wild and crazy. Rhubarb seems to be settling in nicely, although could maybe be a little bit more shaded. Hey, poppy popped up. Nice. Awesome. Have not seen that. And then over here where I scorched earth scraped this thing as I was doing my dirt work, we started with an experimentation of potatoes. And yeah, they are taking off. Also have not watered any of this. The soil here is about, give or take 8 to 12 inches in depth, and it's beautiful and it's rich and it's black. I really need to get some mulch down in here, but hey, these things take time. And then over here, I'm going to be working on some gray water ponds that will hopefully be coming down the hill from the foundation of the home. I want to run it into this pond first, and then eventually what I want to do is build a annualized geosolar greenhouse here, if at all possible. And then have a pond here. Once this gets full, I want to dig down and put in pipes so that we can come down to this one. And then I'm thinking about maybe leaving this one open for a period of time, see how things go, in the hopes that I can store more water here and create some wetland area. And then that way, if I need water for any of the gardening, it will be right here. And then hopefully I will just be able to pump it from there. And then the thought process is that once this one gets full, I'm going to go ahead and run one more pipe down through here and then off into the side of the hill, and then just feed the rest of the hill. But that is basically the update on this and some of the few thought processes, and as things go along, I will continue to update. Take another look in here. Once we start getting that west-facing sun, I'm trying to open this one up a little bit more. Try to get some of that westerly sunlight. Basically, that is due west, give or take, as far as the view goes. So I'm going to remove a few more of these elderberries, try to open this up just a little bit more. I will keep updating as I go along.